So, so how do you set your productivity mindset? Now, we all have moments in time where we want to do things, and whatever we do, we just can't seem to get cracking with it. We can't seem to get going. And it's really important to do some things for ourselves, especially as entrepreneurs. And if you're a parent as well, it can be very tricky because you're juggling house, family, kids, work, business, whatever you've got going on. So, what are a few things that we can do to make ourselves actually get into the right mind frame for what we're doing? So, I thought we could just this evening go through a few basics about productivity mindset that will just help you get your mind where you need it to be to crack on and get what you need doing. Now, I am a great one for procrastinating. If there's a job I don't want to do, I am stubborn to a fault. I will do anything I can to not do it. Whereas actually, I'm with anything else, I'm one of these people where I've got to get on, I've got to get it done. I want to get it done before I do anything else. But there are just some things that I really struggle to do that with. And they are always the jobs that I really hate doing. The cleaning is a good one. I was supposed to clean today, I worked instead, which actually was fine because I've rejigged stuff. But yeah, I prioritized other things ahead of the cleaning. The cleaning actually wasn't important, so it's fine. But I will find other things to do other than cleaning as much as I possibly can. So, one of the ways to start getting your mindset into the right place is to start your day in the right place. So, make sure that when you wake up in the morning, you don't just get up and get on and stick with the normal thing. You actually take some time to create a morning routine that's actually going to rejuvenate you and could include something like exercise or meditation or journaling or whatever you need to do just to help create that mind space. So you've got that mindset, that mind space, everything you need to get you going for the rest of the day. When you are up and about, make sure that you've set clear goals. What are your intentions for that day? Now, I like to write these down. I find the actual act of using pen and paper, writing it down, really helps solidify in my mind what I'm going to do. Now, I don't do this until I've dropped the boys at school, nursery, etc., and I've got those jobs out of the way. And then I stop and I take a couple of minutes and I go, right, this is what I'm going to achieve today. And then I try and put a rough time frame on things. So if I know I've got 4 hours in the office where I shouldn't have any disturbances, then I want to use that properly. So I will look at my goals, look at the priorities of them, and then just make sure that I'm actually giving myself enough time for each thing. And if there is something that I can't achieve today, you know, if I can't get it all done, what if it can wait till tomorrow? And then I will put that in my diary. I will schedule it so that I've got it in there ready to go, ready to do. Another thing to do is to make sure when you've got something you really don't want to do that you're putting off, is to make sure that you actually remove anything that's going to help you procrastinate. So don't sit in front of the television working. Go and sit up to the dining table if you don't have a separate office space. If you do, make sure you work in your office space. Now, I'm a great one at the moment for working in the lounge because it's cold. I don't want to go out to the office. But if there's something I've got to do and I really need to focus, I'll go and sit up at the dining table. Because it's not as warm in our dining room. So it makes me get on quicker. It may seem like a really silly thing, but it really makes a difference. So do all these little things that are going to help you get to where you need to be. Another thing to do is really plan everything to the best of your ability. So if you know you've got a heavy workload for a week or a month or whatever time frame, actually plan out what you've got to do. Plan out the steps of everything you've got to do and go back to basics. Those basics of saying, right, I have a job to do for this client. And to do that, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Actually schedule that in your diary, block time out so that you know what you've got to do, when you're planning on doing it, roughly how long it's going to take. And if you don't know how long it's going to take, if it's a new thing or if it's is slightly different to the norm, then just give yourself a bit of extra time. Put some buffer time in there. Make sure you've got enough time, but also make sure if you finish early, you've got your next bit lined up ready to go. And you can rejig your diary. So that then takes us on to actually reviewing everything on a regular basis. So if you have got a lot to do and you find that you're really struggling to get motivated and be productive, then by doing all of this planning is brilliant. You get going, but then you can kind of get sucked up and lost in everything that you have to do again. So you need to make sure that you stop and you take regular time to review and rejig things as you need to. So more often than not, whatever I plan in my diary, I end up moving stuff around. Something changes with the boys' school, or something changes with a family thing that I've got to do, or anything. A client can ring me and say, I can't actually make that time. Can I do this? So you start rejigging things around, but make time to do that. Make time to actually make sure you are achieving what you hope to achieve and you are actually doing what you plan to do. And sort of knock yourself back into line in a nice way if you have slightly veered off path. Another thing to do is there anything that you can delegate to people you have working for you? Could you outsource part of a project or something that you do if it's something that you're really not wanting to do? Or do you want to actually spend the time on the business and working with your clients? Do you get a PA to do some of the advertising for you and all the social media posts and everything? Really think about, is there anything that someone can do better than me, so that I can actually utilize my time on something that's really going to benefit the business moving forwards. And then I can get someone else doing what they're good at. So I'm not good at doing all the social media stuff. I know what I need to do, but I can get very easily distracted, which is why you'll see a lot of posts by Maynette, my lovely PA. She does a lot of my posting for me during the day, so that I can actually get on and do the bits I need to do. I can get on and write, my bits I need to. I can write my programs. I can tweak my programs. I can come up with all the free webinars and everything. It's actually using other people's skill sets that aren't within your wheelhouse to make sure that you can actually do what you are good at doing, what you enjoy doing. Now, I enjoy doing these bits, so this is why I'm quite happy doing all of this. But we've all got to make sure that we find the joy in what we do. Because if you find the joy in what you do and you find that passion and that joy from when you actually started your business, which sometimes can get lost along the way, if you find that again, reignite that spark. So you're just like, yes, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I love what I do. So, celebrate that. Any little milestones that you reach, just celebrate them. Doesn't have to be a massive party celebration. Could be something as simple as going out for a coffee with friends, or, cooking a nice meal and having a quiet evening, or something like that. Just something to acknowledge that you have achieved what you've achieved. So take the time to put things in place to help you keep that productive mindset, so you can keep your productivity going, you can keep your efficiencies up, and you can just keep enjoying working in your business.